I listen to music all the time. In the car, at home, sleeping, or while solving complex quadratic equations. However, there is one thing I constantly wonder about. अगर इसने ये गाना बनाया इसकी personality क्या कमाल होगी? To find this out, we went on a search, but couldn't really find anything. So,
and that is why we create Music Underground, a series जहां आप जान सकते हैं अपने favorite music artists और उनकी struggles के बारे में.
ओए ये म्यूजिक वहाँ मैंने सुना था, ये ऐसा है, ये वैसा है, इसने शक्ल वैसी बनाई हुई है जैसे उसकी है. हम बहुत प्राउड फील करते हैं if we're able to successfully put somebody down.
There's somebody I've been told.
If you talk about how I got into music, it's kind of the same story that when you're growing up, you get a guitar and then you don't understand what to play on it. Or Atif Aslam ki ek ab to aadat si seekh lete ho. And I used to sit in my garden and feel like a rock star, like I was I knew one string on the guitar. But growing up, I think because of a lot of like emotional turmoil that a lot of people go through, everybody does in their own ways, I just found that writing was one sort of way to channel how I was feeling. And I didn't think that I could sing because all the singers that I knew, they were like kafi surila singing and they knew what they were doing. When I started writing, I understood that I didn't want to like talk about love in the most direct way. I didn't want to talk about loss in a very direct way. I just wanted to sort of like express the visuals in my head. And I always saw like feelings and emotions as visuals, as stories, as a narrative in my head. And it was always like a journey, like a mental journey, even if I'm sitting in the same spot. Like in my head, I'm going to 20 billion destinations of like, emotional turmoil from point A to Z to B to F to like everywhere. And then I thought like there were certain ways of expressing that in words. Even if it didn't make sense, it made sense to me. So growing up, it was, when you don't have a lot of personal space in life because it's, Pakistan and the society we're in, and you're always trying to find a apni category where you feel comfortable, like your own boundary, and you're so protective about your boundary. And then, everybody's sort of like competing about like this unique sense of music. And I think that's when I was like thinking more in black and white growing up, that like, अगर मैं इस बैंड को सुनती हूँ तो मैं सिर्फ इसी तरह का म्यूजिक सुनती हूँ, मैं सिर्फ सॉफ्ट सुनती हूँ, मैं सिर्फ इंडी म्यूजिक सुनती हूँ, उसके अलावा नहीं कुछ सुनती. But then growing up, I think one of the things that I understood which helped me the most in like growing mentally in terms of music was that you're able to find good music, and good is also a very relative term, right? But for me, I was able to find good music and good emotions and good writing in almost all the genres in the world. I am like inherently shy as a person. You feel insecure about your music and you're like, acha, if I remain in this one little box within myself, I would be able to produce something or make something that makes sense for me. So that's one difference that I felt in like, just doing my music myself with like one particular person. But then I realized that there's a lot of fun in letting other people in. But they have to be the right people. And I felt that that's really cool because when two people understand each other and they both want to, be open to each other's emotion and suggestions and, the type of music they make, then I think end pe jo marzi ban jaye, it's the whole process that makes you feel so good about it. And I think that's what matters. Because I didn't know how to produce my own music, right? In the sense of like, मुझे equipment वगैरह नहीं use करना आता था बिल्कुल, बस जो बजाना है और जो बोलना है वही आता था. तो अभी recently मैंने सोचा कि मतलब I should know some of it myself, ताकि at least एक basic चीज़ could come out. I'm part of the Berlin की residency, so it's like 10 people from around the world, right? Somebody from Brazil, somebody from Mexico, somebody from, elsewhere, Thailand or anywhere. And then the fun part is that we're always communicating. And if I write something, it could be like 2 sentences and I send it to like one of those people. And then they would reply like, let's do something. There's less space obviously for people like us to, for example, perform as much, or they're female producers but they're not as much there. Abhi, just for example, I wasn't here in Pakistan for almost 2 years or more, right? But I was constantly listening to female musicians, or not even specifically female, just everybody, and then some turn out to be female. What I felt was that everybody is like kind of scattered everywhere, and there's less communication there's less connection in that sense. मतलब लोग hesitate भी करते हैं ना, उनको लगता है कि शायद if we're too open it's gonna be a problem, हमारा एक demeanor सा जो है वो खराब ना हो जाए or anything. So I think these two things have affected my access to collaborating with female artists. Luckily, like I came across Element because that was the first place that I ever performed live. Before that, I performed in small, like, you know, bookshops or small spaces because that's how I wanted to start with, you know, not a big audience, not people who are just there to just be there. I've always been a very anxious, like, live performer. Not once I'm performing, but before that, because aapko hota hai ki acha kahan pe kya kaise. Kash matlab growing up we had more avenues like that because that would have helped, you know, hone this skill a lot. I feel like as a female musician, I didn't have that. But I remember reading एक ने लिखा हुआ था मेरी live performance के नीचे कि too much resemblance to Pink Floyd, or like I wish, or somebody wrote that too much Lordism, and I don't listen to Lord a lot, but she's a brilliant musician anyway. But I feel like that's such a problem. Like I have to emphasize on this so much कि पता नहीं हम लोग we're so confident in putting each other down. मुझे लगता है especially हमारी society में there's like this huge, हम बहुत proud feel करते हैं if we're able to successfully put somebody down, or you know be like ओए ये music वहाँ मैंने सुना था, ये ऐसा है, ये वैसा है, इसने शक्ल वैसी बनाई हुई है जैसे उसकी है. तो उसमें I think वो meaning तो lost हो जाता है. कोई ये नहीं सोच रहा कि अच्छा यार इसने ये बनाया है मैं ज़रा सुनूं, and then you know just if I like it, good. If I don't like it, then it's fine. Like it's just personal to them. It's what they wanted to do. कोई भी चीज़ जो public में आ जाती है ना, especially women, वो तो मतलब public property बन जाती है ना, तो they're able to like comment on that completely with full freedom. You can always change the way you write. You can always change the way you make music. You can always do something completely new. You know, wake up and do something completely new in terms of music. So I think that sense of freedom, I feel like that means progress to me personally. Like I would like to see how my piece of music is without any external influence, in a sense of like without anybody else adding their own parts to it. I feel like we're brought up in a society जहाँ पे मतलब वही चीज़ के मतलब you're conditioned to think that there are a set of, you know, careers that you should pursue, and those are the careers that are, you know, being talked about in a very nice way. You're going to be taken seriously like if you do that. So I think sort of like that push, like, you know, standing up for what you want to do, no matter what it is. As long as you personally know that you're going to be able to sustain yourself mentally and physically and financially in every way possible.